My voice stayed impassive. Brenda's voice elevated. Did you hear what I articulated? Yes, my love, you are engaged to someone else this Friday, and you're agreeable to her surprise. Inevitable to overlook, not in the slightest, but what? I have no options. As you indicated, regulate your autonomy, vocal tone and facial expressions provide information to me. You are resolute in proceeding with what options remain for me? Return. Do not permit your delicate male ego interfere with my affection for you, and I shall take action. If executed correctly, you will then understand it. Incorrect. I maintained a calm, steady tone. What do you mean again? I did not state anything of that nature. I warranted it would. Your parents and mine concur with you. Brenda averted her gaze and refrained from providing an obvious "you are independent." We wed the moment, establishing in her cognition it was not discernible, yet I was aware it remained within her. Both you and I are aware that they will not act. If you are aware that your actions are incorrect, you just articulated it. What, when, and why else did you? You stated that you would compensate me if it were the case. Supper with anything is unnecessary. Compensate me. Or if you intend to obtain a hairstyle modification, you stated it solely because, to you, I acknowledge that your actions are incorrect, and it is understood that this behavior characterizes you as malevolent towards her. The voice revealed uncertainty yet persisted. You stated that I was capable, but I have never accomplished it. That I will never do so. I merely acknowledge that I, without the authority to prevent you, undoubtedly do not endorse it in any manner I desire. Would you remain with me or accompany me out? May visit the identical restaurant and subsequently the same dance club. It is not concerned with eating or dancing. It pertains to you. I favor companionship, but that companionship does not include me. Do you wish to be with someone whose name I cannot recall? Correct. Once more the elevated head and silence. His name. It is irrelevant. The issue is inconsequential. I will not attend. I do not wish to engage in a debate over this matter. Absence of your presence alongside Mr. __. Encounter him on Friday. Have what consequences do you refer to? In the company of Mr. Hound. I am not asserting that you are not only lovely, you are intelligent. I retain. Communicating those two matters evidently. Do you believe I express this just due to my possession of it? I do not express my thoughts to them because I intend to convey a specific meaning. That I entrust it to you, intelligent woman, to speculate on the ramifications of accompanying Mr. __. Hound on fonts more rather than me. You are deceivingly professing affection. You consistently provide me with what I desire. Nonetheless, I desire it, and as I mentioned, I will return. We shall cherish one another and age together. I cannot prevent you from acting foolish actions. However, you have been forewarned. You're on your own. I arose and seized my departed with the keys before she uttered a word. Anything otherwise. The unit had been occupied all week. It was extremely cold on Thursday. Collected my belongings and relocated to the guest room. What are you doing in the guest room? Rick halted, burdened with an armful of apparel. I saw her as a 2-year-old appear to be significantly unkempt. Overestimated your intellect. What should you do? I appear to be performing your tasks. Indeed, my wife desires to pursue relationships with others. Do you believe I will sleep in the identical chamber with a deceitful __, aspiration? Her voice adopted a melodic quality. Equality of a 5-year-old's teasing inconspicuous young boy. Silent-eyed a bundle of garments and suspended them in an unoccupied closet and returned for another batch. Hence you are attempting to impose silence as a punishment on the malevolent witch. She smirked, observing your pitiable state. Consequences were my sole response to her. Cannot assert that she was not cautioned on Friday. In the afternoon, I finished work early and proceeded to a luxurious unisex salon where I received a contemporary, polished haircut, a razor shave and a matte manicure substance on my nails, namely at the men's area. Adjacent clothes establishment I purchased a casual, refined button-down shirt and slacks. I considered acquiring new shoes along with a jacket. But concluded that new footwear and dancing I declined on the way home due to a lack of integration. I visited a vehicle wash and requested their services. A thorough cleaning my truck was unaware of Watto address at home. I bathed in the shower on hearing Brenda's arrival and her actions. A shower I descended and awaited 30 minutes later. She descended wearing a novel garment I had never encountered previously, a few inches above the knee, providing the world a magnanimous perspective of her cleavage. She halted on the final step and gazed at me as though anticipating a compliment when I stayed mute while she gazed at me. For the second time, her eyes opened as iffily saucers, __. You appear stunning. Where are you heading outside? What did you do? consider imitating her patronizing tone that I maintain that you are feeble and uninformed. The husband would merely remain at home and await for her licentious majesty to deign Torov. I shook my head gently as I opened the garage door and proceeded inside. A tone of censure, and I was under the impression, how can a single individual possess such intelligence? Incorrect. I prefer not to arrive late. Charmaine does not tolerate it becoming into my pristine truck. I perceived a shout. And grinned. Understood. Charmaine and I had an excellent evening at a wine bar that offered modest refreshments. Dinners and live piano performances on weekends performed on the small dance floor at the workplace we had already located. That chat, communication between us was seamless, maybe more so than hers. She appreciated my comedy, even though it's a cliché. However, it is accurate that few elements captivate a man's attention. Heart as profoundly as a woman reveling in Hishmer. Engaging in dance together resembled the act of sexual intercourse. That we coordinated our footwear and beyond, more than once, our lips made contact with ears and cheeks. And lips, our bodies emanated enchantment as we jammed against one another. However, we both were aware that I remained married and comprehended the implications and significance thereof and did not intend, hence we engaged in an extended, unhurried activity evening, indulging in wine and allowing our eyes engage in flirty exchanges as we conversed. Brenda, as I mentioned, is aesthetically pleasing and fervent. Nonetheless, the converse of passion is jealousy. Was nearly convinced at the notion of my caressing Miss D.D. Charmaine would exasperate her and undermine the splendid time she anticipated enjoying with her new and lascivious Mr. The moment I delivered Charmaine in her apartment, she rendered me a favor. Applying a little of her perfume on my shirt and staining her recently painted lip impressions on my shirt collar, neck, and cheek, she kissed me on the cheek and wished me good night. Pursue her, tiger. We shared laughter upon entering my pickup and proceeding home. It was scarcely 10 when I entered the big. Where have you been, Chill? I responded indifferently to your business. You never disclosed your whereabouts with your anonymity, Mr. P. Hound. I would inquire if you utilized condoms, although I am indifferent to your status. Decomposing from within, as I shall never engage with your lasciviousness. Deceiving my physique once more, hence I remain indifferent. Where you traveled, what activities you engaged in, or whom you accompanied. I had a delightful experience, and I am exceedingly grateful to you for that. What do you think? Mean gratitude. If you had not obtained the imprudent notion of opening our marriage, I would never have had the opportunity to gain a deeper understanding of Charmaine. What an extraordinary woman. Quite warm. Thus, I express my gratitude, beloved. Ah, Brenda shouted loudly. Brenda let out a deafening scream, leaving me to ponder whether the neighbor would call the police. I despise that. Why do you believe she was the first individual I contacted? Gazed at me, stunned. What did you say? Once more, I appear to have misjudged your capabilities, intelligence. Compose yourself, for this is not complex. The decision was made to dismiss me and humiliate me. It involves donning attire for certain anonymous individuals. Donning garments you have not previously worn for me, and you express astonishment when I adhere to your guidance. You have renegotiated the conditions of our marriage sans my objection, and I only replicated your actions. The sole distinction is my honesty. Sufficient to inform you of my social engagements. For some inexplicable reason, you are excessively embarrassed to identify your associates. What precisely is rocket scientist? The breeze propelled her sails away. Brenda visibly deflated before me, tears cascading down her cheeks without affording her an opportunity to recover from respiration. I proceeded to speculate. Kevin the South did not affect you this evening as he would have anticipated. Another shriek, this one complete with pathos, permeated the atmosphere as she grasped tightly. She covered her mouth. How do you know? Utilizing the vocal style of a game show host, I reiterated the insufficiency of your mind displays its full potential. Contemplate for once, you work in an office that employs at least 10 people. Alternative women. Kevin is the most ardent admirer. Everyone present is aware of the intimate relationships among individuals, including the girls you will encounter. Discuss it. That is what you accomplished. Did you contemplate for a moment, Brain? You would distinguish yourself by exceeding expectations. Numerous of your purported acquaintances have informed me that you not only succumbed to Kevin's deception, but you also initiated a search for him independently on Google. One of your colleagues referred to it as, who? Perhaps he ended his relationship with her for you, correct? Anger and all that the rumor suggests he intended to designate you as his this evening. Also had accommodations at the Marriott. It appears he is utilizing the Marriott for the initial night following that event. Is the Motel 6 or the residence of the woman you did not visit? Her large eyes conveyed to me that she was astonished and dismayed at being compelled to appear uninformed, credulous, and exceedingly susceptible. She erupted in sobs, exclaiming, "Oh Rick. I apologize, you are correct. I am quite foolish. How can you endure being married to a foolish, __." Similar to me, Brenda is commendable. The news is that I am not obligated to remain wed to your foolish, __. Self. We will serve you here from tomorrow on. We are renting this house for breakfast. We have an additional 3 months available for you to proceed, renew your contract or utilize that time to locate a preferable alternative. Will you go? She inquired in a feeble voice. Charmaine indicated that I may reside with her, while I devise a solution. She possesses the second bedroom, which serves as an office. She stated that we can engage in a more productive discussion. Conditions. When I informed her that I would submit the filing tomorrow, she articulated those favorable remarks, eager to engage in discussion regarding them. In addition to all that you and I possess, we will divide it in half. You may proceed. Engage in intimate relations with anybody you like. Will not have to endure nonsense from an ineffectual spouse. I hope Kevin is valuable. In conclusion, I encountered several of the others' spouses who had succumbed to Kevin, designated as Mr. Hound. One evening following, during supper, he learned that his automobile had been vandalized, with broken windows and paint, and baby feces had been inflicted onto the seats. The thieves stole the wheels, but I can't remember what else they took. While he was assessing the damage, 3 masked unidentified individuals attired in entirely black garments covertly deprived him of his possessions and assaulted him severely. The police were perplexed about the reason the thieves would pursue his pocketbook and counterfeit Rolex, targeting his family assets due to the absence of witnesses and the parking lot cameras being obscured with paint. They were unable to establish a clear focus on the 4 individuals involved. The wives of his victims were participating. Poker in one of their residences subsequent to his. After recovering, he relocated out of state, and no one. It is irrelevant where Brenda relocated. Discovered an apartment. Nevertheless, upon realization, I was contentedly involved with Charmaine. Relocated out of state, I never encountered her again. I resided with Charmaine for although extended, we reached a mutual decision. That ephemeral gratification did not inevitably result in prolonged due to incompatibility. I relocated and discovered a home nearer to my workplace. As I aged, I became more astute and healthier, and I discovered shared interests. With a colleague at the gym I regularly attended, one event precipitated another as I discovered happiness, as is often the case with moments. With a man who possessed genuine intellect, his auditory faculties and fidelity in his heart.